Sorry, guys. I have no clue what just happened there. Like, I hit the live button, came on, and then out of nowhere, it was like, bye, your microphone's not going to work. But it was there. So I'm not sure what that was all about. Good morning, Annie Lou. Good morning, Petunia. How are you ladies today? I am doing really good. I got up this morning and I was going to go live, but then I was sitting there thinking there's so many things that I needed to update and get done. I have to get a new intro. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I haven't been using that Hope song lately or any of the pictures for the flyers because number one, several of the people on the missing flyers were found that were on my original intro videos, which is great news. Glad that there are some of those people that are found. Still a few missing. There was one that was found deceased. So I need to remove Lucian and get him replaced as well. And so I need to take some office time basically and do that. I don't know if you guys heard me talk about, but I got to transfer a lot of my files over onto thumb drives or something like that because that's part of why my computer has been lagging apparently because I'm starting to fill it up. Good morning, Struggle is Real. How are you? Hi, BC. Good morning. So I have to get some of that stuff taken care of at some point today, but I'm going to go live and then Burden is going to go live and then I'm going to go live again and then Burden is going to go live again after me. So we have 4 live streams planned for you over the next 4 4 to 5 hours, I would say. So all of you people who message me all the time and are like, "Nobody is streaming, please come on." There will be somebody on all afternoon for you guys to listen to us talk about the cases, and discuss and all of those things while we obviously are doing whatever you guys do while you listen to us, whether you are puppy rendering or doing laundry, washing dishes, chasing children, whatever it is that you do. You will have somebody to listen to all afternoon. I know BC is excited. Annie Lou. I hope you and your husband had a good time after he came home last night. I'm sure you were happy to see him. So, all right. Yeah, we have a full schedule. Full schedule. So we are all planned up. And honestly, there might be a little bit of time in between because I'm not sure I'm going to take 2 hours, but we kind of are giving each other like 2 hours because you never know whenever you pop live what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to end up talking in the chat forever or whatever. I don't know, Craig. Right. Just like taking care of puppies, I guess. I don't know. I have no clue. I just said words. Cleaning the fridge. Ugh. That sounds horrible. So anyways, there is a lot of stuff that happened in Madalina's case that I kind of want to go over and show you guys what I missed. I know a lot of you guys have probably already seen it. I missed a lot while I was on vacation and Madalina is still missing. And so we are going to take a deep dive into her case and look at these court documents, look at all of the things. Let me pull this up here. This is Madalina. I'm sure most of you guys know by now. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, I know. You usually have the puppy. I was thinking of you and in the bushes because you guys both, like in the bushes, literally has been putting her doggy in a puppy carrier or a baby sling, basically, because he like is so attached to her and wants held all the time. And and so it's kind of funny, you know. But this is Madalina for those of you guys who may not know. I'm sure most of you guys do. At this point, it seems like she's starting to get not starting. She has gotten a lot of traction on social media in comparison to some of these other cases that we have covered in the past. So let me show you guys this article here. It says what to know about Madalina. And then I have the court documents too that we're going to look at. So this says Madalina is an 11-year-old girl from Cornelius. She remains missing Cornelius, North Carolina. She went missing on November 23rd, but her parents did not report her missing until December 15th. She remains missing as of Wednesday morning, which this was written initially on January 10th. It's obvious morning. Guess what? She's still missing. This is really distracting. Go away. Okay. She was last seen on November 23rd, police have said, but she wasn't reported missing by her parents until December 15th. Her mother, Diane, and stepfather, Christopher, have both been charged with failure to report the disappearance of a child to law enforcement. The search for Madalina involves local authorities and the FBI and has drawn public attention with the hashtag Find Madalina trending on social media, and a vigil had been held last Tuesday night. Here's what we know about Madalina's disappearance and the search to find her. Good morning, Dawn. How are you? Lazy Bautissimo. He's not doing it again. Why, Bautissimo? Probably because I was just in editing him this morning. That was one of the things that I needed to do. Let me double check him before we even get too far. Bautissimo, for those of you who don't know what he is, it just makes it easier for the mod team. Like if somebody midstream goes, email, I have to send you something, or ask for example, I just added this morning my Facebook link and my Twitter link. It makes it go and find all of the links and constantly doing those things. They can just type in simple commands and it makes it just that much easier, especially if you're modding from your phone. If you're doing it from your computer, sometimes it's easy because you can have like a notepad or um what's it called? Sticky note. You can have a sticky note there. That's how I used to mod all the time. But it just, I don't know. It makes life more simple for the merch and all of that stuff. I don't want to make modding difficult on them. So, okay, he should be working now. Yes, make the parents tell. You're cool with torture. I wish that they really could do something to make them talk. It's frustrating knowing that she was seen so happy looking getting off of that bus that day, and then she just disappeared, and then there's been so much travel in this case. Like, Madalina's mom was seen at a park with Madalina at one point. Dad traveled to a whole other state during the course of this time period that she went missing, and it's just very concerning because if she is no longer with us, the chances of them not knowing where she was taken, like police wise, it's a lot higher because we're looking at this gap. And then you also have to follow cell phone pings and vehicles and all that stuff to different multiple locations. So, okay. So, Diana told police that she last saw her daughter the night of the 23rd, according to the arrest report obtained by the Charlotte Observer. The next morning, Diana reported to police she went missing. She went to Madalina's room to find her missing. On Tuesday, they have video footage of her getting off the school bus the afternoon of November 21st. So that is the last day that she is physically seen on camera by anyone or seen by anyone outside of her parents. That's the last time police have been able to independently confirm that she was seen. We are seeking additional witnesses outside of the family to narrow down the exact timeline of when she disappeared. So, when was she reported missing? The school resource officer and a sixth grade school counselor from Madalina's school went to their residence on December 12th in response to the fact that Madalina had not been missing at school. Prior to them going to her house, though, they had made multiple phone calls and attempts to contact the family about the fact that Madalina had not been at school. So a lot of people are like, why didn't the school notify us sooner and blah, blah, blah. Based off of what we're seeing now, it looks like they did, in fact, follow the school's procedures. They sent letters, they sent phone calls, and then they made an in-person visit, basically demanding to see her to make sure that she was there. There was no answer, however, and so they left a truancy packet at the door, and Diana, 2 days later on December 14th, called the school counselor about the truancy packet, and she told the school counselor that day that she would come to the school and meet with Madalina, or meet with them and bring Madalina with her. She went to the school then the following day on December 15th and did not have Madalina with her. And it was at that point that she told the school counselor that she couldn't present Madalina or bring her because she had been missing for that time period. Hi, Mercy Choke. How are you? Hi, Mama Cat. Whoa, what is this? Oh, thank you so much for the super sticker. The struggle is real. I really appreciate that. You guys have no clue how much it helps the channel to be able to run and be able to update things like my computer. I'm going to eventually have to update it. For now, I can move stuff to thumb drives, but it's going to be an ongoing issue as I build up files and stuff like that in the computer. So that's something that I'm going to have to update as far as equipment goes. But you guys supporting the channel, becoming a member, sending super chats and things like that, it does help the channel itself run and give me the ability to do this. One of the things that I actually had to talk to you guys about is coming towards, well, the end of the month really is tax season, and I will be pretty busy through tax season because I'm going to be helping my cousin, but I still intend to try to do this as well as working basically a semi full-time job. So it'll be interesting to see how well I can balance it through tax season. So thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let me see. Where was I at? Okay, so they went to the school. They went to the school. She didn't have Madalina, and the school resource officer says, "I asked Diana why she did not report Madalina missing until now." Bailey Middle School resource officer Jay Noble said in the arrest report. Diana stated she was worried that it might start conflict between her and her husband, Christopher. And so a lot of people have speculated about that. I know that we have actually talked about that as well. Like, there's a huge age gap between the two of them. Diana is 37, Christopher is 60. Diana is from a different country. Her and Madalina moved here and they got married. There's a lot of things that happen that kind of gives you like a mail order bride type of feel. And honestly, I've questioned whether there could have been physical or domestic violence basically in this house prior to all of this. The way that she worded that, that she was afraid to start a conflict with him, it kind of worries me. But then again, with her being from a different country, it could just be the wording because of the fact that, English is her second language. So really, I mean, it could just be the wording and it could mean absolutely nothing. Okay. So they were both arrested, as we know, and charged with failure to report the disappearance of child to law enforcement. North Carolina law says it's a class 1 felony for a parent or any other person providing care to or supervision to someone younger than 16 years old to knowingly or wantonly fail to report the disappearance of a child to law enforcement. This law needs to be everywhere. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Like, it frustrates me to no end how parents are allowed to have it discovered that their kid is missing, and then police have no power to hold them on anything. Props to North Carolina for making this a law right off the bat, and it becomes a class 1 felony. Like, you can't really ask for more. They can be held for a long time with that charge. So the law defines the disappearance of a child as when the parent or other person providing supervision to the child does not know the location of the child and has not had contact with the child for a 24-hour period. Both have already made their court appearances. Her bond was set at $250,000 at her initial appearance on Tuesday, and a judge ruled that if she makes bond, she will be required to wear an electronic monitoring device. and then his bond was raised from 100,000 to $200,000 on Monday. They both were told to turn in their passports as well, I believe. What did I do? Yes, great, great. I can do your taxes. I can. Okay, so why wasn't Madalena reported missing sooner? In additional police records, Diana is said to have told police she didn't initially tell anyone her daughter was missing because she was afraid of conflict with her husband. The couple fought the night that Madalena was last seen, the records say, and he left for Michigan that next morning. Diana says that she first noticed that her daughter was missing. Police records say they discussed with each other several times Madalena being missing, but didn't alert law enforcement and were adamant that they did not know where Madalena could be. So at this point, it kinds of sets it up as like, okay, so this huge fight apparently happened. It's been said that they were burning things in the backyard during this time period as well. Huge red flag. Of course, there is also the fact that he traveled after we now know that she also was traveling through this time period. It's like red flags everywhere. But they tried to set this up also to look like Madalena could have run away because Diana says, well, her backpack and some clothes were missing at one point. And so they were trying to set it up almost to look like just another runaway, right? The problem is they didn't report her. If they would have reported her, then the just another runaway could have fit. And then it could have happened where we wouldn't know about this because she would just be another kid who got entered into the system as a runaway, and we would never we would never know about it. Never. And so it's very frustrating. So police records say they discuss okay, part. Okay. So Diana also told family in the country she's from originally in Moldova. She didn't know where her daughter was, records say. They urged her to report the disappearance, but she did not. So at some point, she talked to her family and told them that Madalena was gone. What that conversation was like, I don't know. Like, could she have said, Madalena's gone. Chris took her somewhere. Like, I'm really concerned. I don't know what happened. I'm scared to say anything because he might hurt me. Like, I want to know more about that conversation. Police obviously have the phone records and would be able to see, especially if it was through text message or through like Facebook or whatever. And so I don't know. I don't know if we'll see all of that. I didn't read through every document. I was going to do that with you guys this morning to know in advance if they talk about that more. So they did do a search of a lake at on last Monday at Lake Cornelius. It says as part of the normal investigative process, we are expanding our search to include Lake Cornelius as a precautionary measure. There's nothing we won't do to hashtag find Madalena. Beat him. Hello. Hi, Sweepy. How are you? Yeah, beat him. Did you hear live last night? Oh, probably not. Okay, so search boats and fire officials were on the lake Monday morning near Interstate 77 and adjacent to Lake Norman. The lakefront is about 2 miles from her home. Authorities have asked the community to remain vigilant as they search for Madalena. She was last seen wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, and a white t-shirt and jacket. She is 4 feet tall, 10 inches, has brown hair, and weighs 90 pounds. Anyone with information is asked to call the Cornelius Police Department at 704-892-7773. So let me just copy and paste that into the thing here. Whoa, that was a lot. I didn't mean to copy the article part, but there it is. So that's the information. Yeah, how do they think that so many little kids are running away and living their best life? I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you guys something. There was an article completely off topic from Madalina, but I do wanna share this with you because I was pretty upset by this one. This was one that I had started hearing about during my vacation, and I was, like, slightly following it, but obviously I couldn't cover it because I forgot to take my laptop with me, and anyways, let me show you guys. There's a missing 18-year-old girl. Because of her age, she was listed as a runaway. They just wrote her down as being a runaway just because of her age. And so that takes a certain level of investigative power away from the police whenever it's a runaway. Her body was found, unfortunately, over the weekend. And it says, this was in Virginia, and it says the body of a young woman missing from the Williamsburg was found in a remote area of Windsor on Dade County Sheriff's Office said. The sheriff's office told 10 on your side they are investigating her death suspicious. 18-year-old, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. So on Friday, Friday, family members reported 18-year-old Honesty Selby missing. Her family said they had not heard from her since Wednesday. She was there and then she was gone. I didn't understand what was happening, said her aunt. On Wednesday, Ebony said Honesty told her she was planning to come visit her on the Outer Banks. So they received her missing report at 9:30 p.m. on Friday, and they found her deceased on a dirt path in a remote area off Blue Ridge Trail. She was then identified, and it says, due to her age, Honesty was listed as a runaway. And so it's just frustrating because just because she was 18, she was, and I don't understand why that's a thing. Like, what age do you decide that children just run away? And then at what point do missing people being just a runaway to being suspicious? And how many of these runaways do we see day after day that are actually, you know, people who have been harmed? This is her aunt. Let me show you guys this. It's just frustrating, I guess.
Wednesday and reported her missing on Friday. 10 on your sides. Lauren Moss has the story.
Other family members found her dead on a trail in Windsor. The Isle of Wight County Sheriff's Office tells me they are investigating her death as suspicious. The Isle of Wight County Sheriff's Office cannot comment on what her aunt told me, and there is investigation.
She was there and then she was gone.
Ebony Selby describes her niece, Honesty Selby, as a loving 18-year-old who was ready for cosmetology school.
She was so sweet, just loving, kind.
Honesty said she was on her banks.
I really didn't get a call until Friday morning with her mother being very concerned. And where
Ebony said minutes for Honesty, they went searching for Honesty.
we went there, it was we walked 2 miles down this dark road.
It was where Ebony make.
I just stopped that because it was buffering so bad. That's what I was saying. Like, I gotta clean out my computer because it is so awful. Is the connection sound better? I think my phone was sitting too close to the microphone. And if it doesn't sound better, let me know. Because I can try to move around stuff again. I noticed though on my replays, because I was listening the other day, I noticed that it's been getting like kind of crappy in places. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry. I think that's what it was. I think it was my phone. It was sitting too close. Okay. But so that was just one of those cases, where it's just frustrating. And I know law enforcement can only do so much, right? They have so many cases, so many cases to cover, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating whenever it's, think about it. This is somebody's child. This is somebody's niece. This is somebody's loved one who just disappeared and then was found deceased, and they believe it could be suspicious. And so I don't know. It's just frustrating to families, I'm sure. And the police kind of put that they had found her, but the family put that they were out searching based on the last phone pings and that they had found her. So I don't know if they mean they as in the police or if they mean they as in themselves. I'm not sure. They really are they are really missing a good resource and not talking to working women. They have knowledge of lots of things. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let me get some of these documents up for you guys. One second here. I gotta find. I think it's this one. Okay, so this is the Facebook group that I am at right now. Let me get you guys their link. They have all of the documents posted for you if you guys want to read through them. There is 22 pictures. So we will read through a bunch of them. I'll probably paraphrase a lot because there is a lot to read through. So let me show you guys. These are obviously public information, so you probably could find them by going to the court website. This is just simpler for me this morning because I don't want to save more files to my computer just to have it go even slower. Okay, so this is the location to be searched. This is from a search warrant. This search warrant includes the house located at 18413 Victoria Bay Drive in Cornelius, North Carolina. So, and then it talks about how they had to go to this residence, basically. So that's the house getting searched. Documentation for that. This one says continuation page attached to search warrant application dated 12/21/2022. Any and all indicia of a missing person, Madalina, including but not limited to. So this is what they were searching for inside of this residence. The following materials which constitute evidence of the commission of a criminal offense or contraband, the fruits of a crime, the property designed designed or intended for use, or which is or has been used as a means of committing a criminal offense, namely a violation of North Carolina General Statute, failure to report the disappearance of a child to law enforcement. Any evidence to include any physical evidence, documents, electronic devices pertaining to planning, execution, or assistance with the crime, any papers, tickets, notes, schedules, receipts, or other items relating to domestic or foreign travel and or purchase, rental, or lease of automobiles. They were also looking for samples of blood, bodily fluids located by search and through the use of luminol, blue star, and other chemical tests. Any evidence related to her with biological evidence, which is to include but not limited to hair sample, blood samples, saliva, and blood stains. Any evidence related to unfired bullets, casing, projectiles, ammunition, firearms, fragments, knives, or items believed to be weapons, and anything that could be related to clothing, shoes, clothing fibers, latent evidence, and trace evidence. So basically, they walked in there looking for anything, right? Looking for anything. They walked in looking for blood. They walked in looking for weapons, if at all possible. They also walked in looking for evidence that she could have been traveling, that she could have been sent somewhere, plane tickets, etc. Because honestly, whenever you get right down to it, we don't know that she is deceased. We have had no evidence that we have heard saying that she is deceased. There's a very good chance on the other side that dad or mom could have been hiding her, right? I don't think that Diana would have reached out to her family though, saying that she was just saying that she was missing if she knew where she was, unless she was setting up them, like setting up a situation where she was hiding her. But there is a lot of red flag, like we talked about earlier, with the fire that was burning in the backyard, with them both traveling right on the holiday, with the fact that they didn't report her missing. There is a lot of red flag stuff as well that, is why police are looking for biological DNA evidence. Yeah, fruits of a crime. That's a new one. Sorry, what did you just send me? Oh, just came through on Discord. Okay, so continuation of the probable cause affidavit. It says, during my time with the Cornelius Police Department, I have been assigned to the patrol division, worked in traffic. Okay, so this is just about the officer and what his background is and what he's searching for, basically. Okay, so let's go up here. So then they conducted numerous searches for evidence on persons, premises, vehicles, telephones, and other common areas used by suspects in an attempt to conceal evidence of criminal activity. On Thursday, December 15th, at approximately 1:12 in the afternoon, officer responded to Bailey Middle School, located at the Bailey Middle School address, and said Diana, who resides at her address, reported her juvenile daughter, Madalina, missing since approximately 10 o'clock on Wednesday, November 23rd. So on Monday, December 12th at approximately 2 p.m., Bailey Middle School resource officer attempted a home visit with sixth grade school counselor, and they were going to see her. We read about that in the news report. Whenever they got there, there was no answer at the door. She had been missing from school since Monday, November 21st. A truancy packet at that point was left. On December 15th, Diana arrived at the school without Madalina to meet with those officers. When they got there, she informed them that Madalina had been missing since Wednesday, November 23rd, since approximately 10 p.m. So what kills me in this part is, what was her excuse then for Madalina missing school on Tuesday, right? If she was last seen getting on and off the bus on Monday, the 21st, where was she at on Tuesday if mom is saying that she was last seen at 10 p.m. Wednesday night? That means she also missed school Tuesday and Wednesday. And so that concerns me, because whatever happened to Madalina, it's pretty clear to me had to have happened on Monday, November 21st, because otherwise I feel she would have went to school. Plausible deniability. Yes. What's the reasoning behind her not going to school on Tuesday and Wednesday? And I feel like they completely misaddressing this throughout the questioning, because there's no reason giving. Like, does mom say she was sick? She doesn't look sick getting off the bus. What happened that led to her not going to school? Okay, so she said that she last seen her at 10 p.m. She stated that Madalina went into her room that night to go to bed. Diana stated her and her husband, Christopher, argued that night, and the next morning he drove to his family's house. Sorry about that. I am. Oh, okay. That makes sense, Bomber Cat. Okay. So she wasn't at school because of Thanksgiving break. I didn't even think about Thanksgiving, so that makes sense. I am gonna have to change a diaper. So I'm gonna find a video about Madalina to play for you guys, and I will be back in like 2-3 minutes max.
New at fully unsealed search warrants in the case of a missing North Carolina girl have shed more light on what investigators are looking for in the case.
Madalina Cojocari has been missing since November 23rd, and our partner station WSOC in Charlotte obtained new documents today revealing investigators served a search warrant at the girl's home in Cornelius on December 15th, looking for any potential evidence in the case. Then they returned for a second search on December 21st. Today, agents with the SBI returned to Madison County to look for surveillance footage in the expanded search zone. Madalina's mother and father were failing to report her disappearance.
You know, betting without a game plan is a little like skating a giant ramp without helmet and pads. I wouldn't risk it. And I wouldn't bet without a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook provides you with tools to set a realistic budget and time limits, so you're ready to bet responsibly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook and casino apps to learn more about how you can practice safe bets.
Now to this breaking update to share. This is an update in the case of Madalina Cojocari. We are learning a grand jury has indicted the mother and stepfather of Madalina for failing to report the 11-year-old missing to law enforcement. You remember that she's been missing since last November. She was last seen getting off of a school bus. Meantime, today, we're also getting new insight into why a judge sealed those search warrants related to the case. Those new court documents show Cornelius PD and state police got warrants for Madalina's stepfather's phone and her mother's call records. So now the search warrants themselves, we've told you this before, they won't be available to the public for at least 90 days. We're told information in that document could hurt the investigation efforts if that information got out.
You know, betting without a game plan is a little like skating a giant ramp without helmet and pads. I wouldn't risk it. And I wouldn't bet without a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook provides you with tools to set a realistic budget and time limits, so you're ready to bet responsibly. Download the
Sorry, guys. That was a bad one. Oh, man. It, like, destroyed the whole, essence in my office. Awful, awful.
We're dying next.
I am back, actually. I'm sorry. That was rough. Sorry about the pause. Okay, let me pull back up the documents. I'm gonna have to, like, Febreze the office. Okay, so okay, they asked her why she didn't report Madalina missing, and then she stated she was worried that it might cause a conflict between her and Christopher. So they also questioned her regarding her missing daughter. She explained that she believed her husband put her family in danger, but did not know what happened to Madalina. She stated that she contacted her family in Moldova, who advised she contacted the police, but still hesitated to call. Diana stated Madalena did not have a phone and that her backpack and some clothes were missing from the residence. Diana stated that Madalena did not have any friends that she would stay with and that they have no family around due to Diana being from Moldova. Yeah, no, it was bad, guys. It was bad. Did I ever see the Brother Solomon? I have not. I have not. Okay. Let's see. What's this one? So this is part of the search warrant, and it was basically saying that they searched her room. They were adamant that they didn't know where Madalena could be. Can we talk about for a second? It just registered in my brain that she believed that her husband could have put her family in danger. I wonder what she meant by that. Like, are they trying to imply that somebody could have kidnapped Madalena? Even, but if somebody kidnapped her, then why would they take a backpack with clothes? Like, typically kidnappers are not like, "Hey, pack your stuff, let's go." Um, huh. That is I will totally look it up. Look up the diaper scene, Brother Solomon. Okay. So you believe that there's probable cause for a search warrant to be served at the residence to locate further evidence. So the search warrant was executed on December 15th, which is described herein. So, okay, so then this is just more of the search warrant. It's kind of odd because that video we just watched said that the search warrant was going to be sealed. And then here we are looking at the search warrant. So attachment and property evidence to be seen. So they took all of their records and information, including but not limited to names, addresses, telephone numbers, email addresses, activation/deactivation dates, dates of service, types of service utilized. This is basically all of the telephone numbers. So the T-Mobile telephone number, all of the information that came from that phone. So like anywhere they would have gone, anybody they would have talked to, looking for any types of reports of their GPS locations, all of that. So I'm not going to read down through this, but that's basically just cell phones. Like they are looking for all the things inside of the cell phones. Places to be searched are and records maintained by T-Mobile for targeted telephone number. If records for the search targeted number is maintained by a cellular telephone service provider other than above listed provider, this search warrant shall also authorize the production of records from these other cellular telephone service providers. And then the rest of the page is blank. So then we get into their probable cause affidavit for why they were able to be arrested. So again, we talked about that North Carolina law, right? If they haven't seen their child for more than 24 hours and they are unable to tell people where they are or have contact with their child, that becomes a felony first-degree offense in North Carolina, and that's why they were arrested. And so this goes down through basically the detectives abilities and why he is able to make this arrest based off of his past history and things like that. And it also talks about, again, the school meeting in which they told them that they hadn't seen her since November 23rd. And so I don't know if Diana maybe didn't realize that that was a law and that that's why she was going to end up getting arrested eventually, or if she thought that that was her best possible defense in this situation, is to just come forward and be honest that she's gone, that she was missing. They just doxed them. Yeah, they've been putting out their address everywhere. It is a good law, Sarah Hart. It needs to be a law everywhere, all the places. Because then we would see people like Oakley Carlson's parents, for example, be held on charges for her. Or Adam Montgomery could have been taken into custody right away for Harmony, because it was an extended time period. Serenity McKinney, they wouldn't have had to have found her first before they were able to arrest her parents. Angel Overstreet, we just talked about her the other day. Shannon Overstreet is made a plea deal and could potentially get out as early as May for the charges against him for her harming his mom. Could be in for 8 more years, or he could get out as early as May, just based on his behavior basically behind bars at this point. And he still has never been charged for Where is Angel? You know, cases like that, there's so many that we could talk about that. Well, what are these people getting charged with? What's going to happen to them? You know, why are they able to walk around and just live their best life whenever their kids are missing? Yes, the Daybells, but that's the Daybells are held on the same thing. Same thing. Right. No one in their right mind would let their child go missing without reporting it. Exactly. I mean, 100%. If your kid is missing and you don't report it, there's a reason. Cody Bigsby is another one. Missing for months, they found out. Dad eventually reported him missing, but he waited months. I mean, he claims that he was only missing a few days, but now they know that he was missing for months. So it's just frustrating. It's very frustrating that it's not the standard. Okay, so then this one. Okay. This one says that she last seen Madalina at 10 p.m. She went in her room to go to bed. She stated that her and Chris argued that night, and the next morning he drove to his family's house in Michigan to recover some items. What type of things do you drive to recover so many states away on Thanksgiving Day? Diana stated she went to check on Madalina around 11:30 on the 24th and noticed that she was not in her room. She said she waited until Saturday at 7 p.m. when Christopher returned home before asking if he knew where Madalina was. Like, that is a huge red flag to me. If you noticed that your daughter was missing, why would you wait 2 more days to ask or be like, "Hey, is Madalina with you, Chris?" Or something along those lines. Like, I know that you guys were fighting and I know that there was issues there, but what makes you not reach out and check the location of your daughter in that time period? I don't know. So Chris stated at that point that he did not know and asked the same question in return. So at that point, if Chris left and Madalina was at home with his wife, Diana, and he has no knowledge that Madalina was missing up until this point at 7 p.m. on November 26th, and he comes home and she goes, "Hey, don't you have Madalina?" And he's like, "No, I don't have her. Where is she?" At what point don't you just call police? Unless you know what happened to her and you know that it was a foul play situation, and at this point you need to cover something up, right? Or I mean, and by saying foul play, Like, okay, obviously the murder situation is there, but they also could have sold her. They could have taken her to a different location and hid her. Um, any of those things are a possibility still. And I don't know, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. So then this takes me back to that statement that we talked about a few pages ago where she said that he put their family in danger. Oh, actually, they say it again right here. She explained that she believed that her family or her husband put her family in danger but did not know what happened to Madalina. She said that she contacted her family in Moldova, who advised she called the police and still hesitated to call. What does she mean by that? Like, okay, so was Madalina gone and they both were afraid to call because of, what could it have been? A drug deal, traffickers, like was he involved? Did he have gambling debts? Like, there's so many situations that I could think of that whenever somebody says that he put their family in danger, like, what does that mean? Yeah, it's shady. It's very confusing, Annie Lou. Exactly. Never understand how this happens and just keeps happening. I know Ramblin' Rome. And like, okay, so 95% of the time it turns out to be the parents or the caregivers of the child. And so it's very, very hard to give people the benefit of the doubt that it could have been somebody else involved, that it could have been outside influences that resulted in the missing child, especially whenever there's a time gap. I mean, that time gap just really seals the deal basically of they had something to do with this. I know, vague much. Um, it's just frustrating. Very frustrating. So they stated that she did not have a phone. She had her backpack. We read that part already. Let's see. It seems like they repeat a lot of this. So they went back to the house with the search warrant at 7 p.m. For the search warrant of the house, any potential evidence. Two cell phones were seized at that point. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it on that one. This is the application to prevent the disclosure of the existence of the search warrant, authorizing all content and other information associated with blank, dated 12/16. So whatever the secondary search warrant was for, that seems to be what they're blocking. Not the house search warrant, but whatever they searched next. Said specifically, being as disclosure of the requested search warrant and investigation would likely result in continued flight from testimony, a modification of the target's activities, or the activities of those with whom the target communicates or associates, and the destruction or tampering of evidence and would otherwise jeopardize the investigation. The applicant further requests pursuant to the delay notice provisions for ordering delay any notification to the subscriber customer that may be required to obtain the contents of communications for a period of 90 days. And so whatever it is that they're watching or looking for, whoever the target is, I don't think it's the parents because at this point, I mean, the parents are in jail. I don't know if they were arrested at that point though. Burden, do you know if they were already arrested? What day did they get arrested? I gotta look at that. Or if they were being specific about the parents and that. I'm wondering. Obviously, they don't say it. Let's see. Okay, so they were arrested on the 18th. So this could be them referring to the parents, not wanting the parents to be able to see whatever information they were following up on. Okay, this next one goes down through and is search warrant. It's again asking for it to be sealed. I don't know if it was a double copy. This one talks about the phone search warrant. I'm not going to read through this. It's the same information over and over again, that she was last seen. They went in for the school meeting. Same. Just double spaced. This would have been so much easier. Okay, so they're arrested on December 17th, actually, not the 18th. The 18th must have just been the date of the article, with failure to report the disappearance of a child to law enforcement. I wish that there was more actual information from police out there that could give some type of hint as to where she could possibly be if they're looking at this as foul play or any of the things. Right now, it's still, I don't know. If you saw those two coming down the same aisle as you in the grocery store, you'd turn around and go the other way, just saying they looked rough. He does, especially, I thought that's why a lot of people are saying like mail order bride type of situation because of the age gap. And honestly, he's just not an attractive guy. Let me try to find a picture of him. Here he is. He's just not an attractive guy, really. I mean, in my opinion, anyways. And so, like, with the age difference and stuff, I mean, who knows? Maybe they could have had a budding online romance. I've seen very, very beautiful women fall for some pretty rough looking guys. So I guess who am I to judge appearance or whatever? But just, I don't know. Especially with him like not being rich or something. I don't know. They have a lot of good pictures on here. This is their inmate stuff for whenever they got arrested. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's been a lot of interesting things on Mom's Facebook. A lot of people think that she was kind of into witchcraft and things like that. But the important thing is getting Madalina's face out there. As of now, we don't know what happened to her, right? I do still think that there could be the potential for hope that she is out there somewhere. Um, especially with the statement Mom made about him putting their family at risk. That to me, it sounds like, or in danger. That to me sounds like people outside of the family could be threatening them for something. And is it possible that she could have been abducted, or that they would have had to hand her over or something along the lines in that situation? Is it possible that they could have sold her or whatever? Yes, it's all possible. But I will say that, a vast majority of the cases that we cover like this do end up being a situation where, unfortunately, these children have never had a chance. Unfortunately, we cover these cases sometimes and you put it out there and the red flags turn out to be exactly what they thought of that, what we were thinking they were. And the family has done harm to them. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Right. He could have taken her to Michigan. I don't know. She probably just wanted out of Moldova. Eastern Europe is crazy, especially for young women. Interesting. Maybe. It is. It's very sad, Sarah. Very sad. It's frustrating too, though, because it's happening way too often. What is up with the hands? There's Madalina's hand. This goes through some of the Facebook posts and stuff. They have a boat. So, I don't know. We'll do what we can do and share her face out. I just wanted to come on and put out some of the updates because I hadn't covered the arrest warrants. I hadn't looked at any of the documents or any of those things. And so I wanted to make sure I came on and updated you about it. Let me see if it says where in Michigan. Honestly, I'm not sure if it tells us that. I'm sure people have sleuthed it to see where his family lives, but I don't honestly know that information. Oh, look, here's a penned note that Madalina wrote. Let me share this. You had looked a while back, but couldn't figure it out at that point. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was ever said. So this is a picture of them or a picture of her, rather, Diana, at this park where they think that she went to. I mean, just different people talking about her. It says nothing out of the norm, just more of a quiet to themselves kind of family. They did engage and talk and interact have conversations with everyone. They were just more quiet. This is talking about their last visit or their last trip, basically a group vacation, saying that they were more reserved as a family, basically. It says her son used to play with Madalina on the group vacations, but Clark said herself could not recall many interactions with the girl's parents. We're pretty shocked. My son would play with Madalina every year when we would have these vacations. They would hang out and play and do kid things. So yeah, it's pretty normal. It's pretty shocking, sorry. Clark said, adding that Madalina was 100% a normal little girl based off of what she had observed during the group trips. Okay. So Madalina's disappearance wasn't made known until December 15th. We know that. We've read that. This is her getting off the bus. Okay, but these are notes that she had written. Madalina's family penned a handwritten note expressing their concern for the missing 11-year-old, which CPD shared with the public December 22nd. So sorry, not that Madalina had written, but her family had written. It says, we as a family are devastated and absolutely heartbroken to learn that Madalina is missing. We love Madalina and are shocked by these circumstances. This is something no child or family should ever have to endure. Our family is doing everything we know to do to support the efforts to find Madalina and bring her home. We are and continue to have hope and positivity in this difficult time and pray that she is found safe very soon. We know and greatly appreciate that the local, state, national, and online communities have come together to share flyers and offer positive support, hold prayer vigils, support law enforcement, and are doing everything possible to find and bring Madalina home safely. We are also appreciative of all of the efforts, endless hours, and boots on the ground of the local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies involved with the same goal. Madalina is a beautiful, smart, kind, and loving 11-year-old girl with greatness in her future. We are desperate to find her right now. She needs all of our help. We ask for your continued positive support and sharing far and wide. The posters and pictures of Madalina, each and every share, may be one step closer to finding her. If any of you have seen Madalina or have any information related to her whereabouts, please contact your local law enforcement agency or the Cornelius, North Carolina Police Department. Come forward with this information. Anything may help. Our family would like to express some sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for your support. Our family will continue to do everything we know and learn to do for Madalina's safe return home. Blessings. So that was penned by her family members and sent in. Yeah, it's just so devastating. Like, I hope that they are able to find her and resolve this case very soon. She's such a pretty little. So, yeah, suspicious mom's trip to the mountains during that window of time. Absolutely. But I'm going to go ahead and close up shop, you guys. You'll have about 40 minutes until Burden of Proof comes on. She is going to be covering a woman who was last seen with her boyfriend, and she hasn't been seen since. And I can't remember her name. Let me pull up Burden's link here so that you guys will be able to click over and hit remind me so that you get the notification. And if you don't get the notification, you get notified that she is going live, because, YouTube is being pretty finicky. Brittany T. So she was last seen leaving her boyfriend's house, and they are now searching for her husband, who is possibly armed and suicidal. So, really concerning situation going on with this one. So there we go. There's the link. I hope to see you guys there. I'm going to set my reminder now. That way it notifies me that she is going live. And I love this. And I will see you after her live. I'll be live again about 3 different cases in Ohio. So bye, guys.